Alright, it is Frieza700. We are back with some Warhammer 40K lore. This time, we are talking about the goblins of Warhammer 40K, known as
the GROTZ,
also known as Gretchin. Here we go.
After the
So what is a Gretchin, more or less? What are they used in Orc society? After all, they're puny, they are weak as fuck. Yeah, they have good smell, hence the big fucking nose. And yeah, they have great hearing, and they have great sight, and they're smart. But what are they used for primarily? Well, they're actually used as just the guys that you use as a fucking football. They're used as the guys who you would kill just to pass time. They're used as just the male boys. I'm not joking, they actually call them sty boys, in which case, the biggest guy in the squad, the orc, is going to have a Gretchin sitting on top of his shoulder, who's going to wave crude symbols at other Gretchin riding orcs, and these symbols signal kind of like a message system. It's very crude, but it gets the message across. But besides that, what are they really in Orc society? Well, they're the second lowest you can ever be in Orc society. So if you really suck at just luck in general, you might end up as a Gretchin. If not, you'll end up as a Snotling, which is way worse. But a Gretchin isn't good. In fact, it's weird is that Gretchin have it so fucking bad, they have it worse than Warhammer Fantasy Goblins. Yet they're happy with their role. They're happy absolutely having no chance of ever leading a log. Now, in Warhammer Fantasy, a goblin has a chance of leading orcs to battle. In Warhammer 40K, that is not going to fucking happen. No orc is ever going to let a Gretchin stand up to him, sneer his little fucking teeth at him, and go, "I'm the boss now!" Because if anything, the moment the Gretchin does that, the orc's just going to look at him and go,
"Oh, you stupid grot, taste me shooter."
Now, speaking of which, when it comes to shooters, do Gretchin use guns? Yes, but they have to steal it or scavenge it, because in an orc society, the only fucking gun you're gonna get is a hand-me-down gun. Literally just a shitty gun by orc standards. Mind you, orcs will have a 2x4 with a pipe glued on top of it, and they'll stick a rocket down the barrel of the pipe, and it will actually fire, and that's considered highly advanced weapons. So, a low-tech weapon in Orc society must be worse than that. It has to be literally just a giant fucking screw with a tiny barrel at the end of it. That would be your gun. That is what the Gretchin are using. And not only that, they don't buy ammunition, because they're the ones who are the ammo runners. So when an orc shoot-a squad is just shooting up someone, they need someone to go get ammunition for them. Whose job is that? The Gretchin. So who doesn't get ammunition for their gun, their little tiny pistol? The Gretchin. So where do they get their ammunition? Well, they have to scavenge. So essentially when they haul ass to bring the ammo back, they'll see that the orc boy shoot-a didn't actually unload the cartridge, didn't unload the bullet out of the chamber, so he'll just snatch it and go, "You know what? This is mine now." And then he's gonna walk around the camp, see an orc passed out from fungus beer, and he's gonna go, "You know what? Your pistol ammo's mine now." Now, of course, an orc doesn't really care to use his pistol at all, so he doesn't give much of a fuck. But he is gonna be very surprised when he whips it out in combat to save his ass, and he's like, "Huh. There's no fucking ammunition in the goddamn thing." Now, of course, there's more that a grot could do. That's the second name of the Gretchin, is a grot. But they're so restricted by their size and their role in Orc society that they don't get much chances to prove themselves. And it's actually funny is that when it comes to combat, they're not like goblins. Goblins will gladly charge into combat, even if it looks like they may lose. Because goblins will only run away once they actually start losing, because they're crazy. But Gretchin, which is the Warhammer 40K equivalent of goblins, because goblins don't exist in Warhammer 40K. I'm going to keep fucking saying this over and over again. But the Gretchin, they actually will not fight you unless they know they stand a chance. And this is where we get to the part where, yes, you gotta feel bad for the Gretchin because they're used as footballs. Occasionally an orc will just kill one, just blow his head off just because he likes the popping noise of his skull. But at the same time, you shouldn't feel bad for these guys because they're assholes. They're evil motherfuckers. And we see that a lot with Warhammer Space Marines, the video game, and we see that in some of the literature where when it comes to combat, they usually like to pick on those who are weak, infirm, even like children. Those are the only people that they'll really pick on. If they're picking on a warrior like a Space Marine or an Imperial Guard, they're only attacking them for two reasons. Either A, the orc is literally throwing his ass in there. Literally, some orcs are called runt herders, and their whole job is to keep the Gretchin in the fight. So they have these giant grabbas that have a little electric shock if they're a little high technologically. And what happens is they go in one motion, pick up the Gretchin who's running away, shock him, and toss his ass right into the Marine. And that's what their job is. Now, the other reason why a Gretchin might attack you is because they have a lot of numbers. Now, orcs are very numerous and plentiful, but Gretchin are double the number. Way over the number. More like quadruple the number. So if you're dealing with 1,000 orcs, there's probably around 400,000 Gretchin hiding around somewhere. And that's really all Gretchin do. They just hide around. And this is the fun part. So let's say a battle's about to happen, right? And the boss is saying,
Wake up, you goats. Get everyone out in the fight.
well, here's the problem. Gretchin don't want to fight. So they have to herd them out. That's, again, the job of the runt herders. But the way they do it is they go up to nearby scrap piles, which is usually where Gretchin will build their houses in, and they'll release a bunch of squigs to flush the bastards out. If a few of them die, oh well, at least they fed the squigs. Sometimes they'll even use flamethrowers to go in their little holes and just blast them the fuck out. So either the Gretchin's gonna get his ass bit off, or he's gonna have fire on his ass and he won't be able to shit for days. So take your pick, snotling scum. Now when it comes to like Gretchin fighting though, they're really dangerous. I hate to say it, they actually are fucking dangerous. Because orcs, they're strong, they're stupid, but Gretchin actually know how to fucking aim. That's my favorite part. So when an orc is shooting at you, he's not really aiming down the barrel. He doesn't understand that, there are sights built into the fucking gun so he can actually look and see what it is the gun is going to shoot. Instead, he just kind of pulls the trigger because he likes the explosion and he likes the kickback. A Gretchin actually aims. They'll actually line up the pistol along their eye and go, alright, there's the head of the target. I'm gonna blast his ass away. Now, again, their guns suck dick, so if you're a Space Marine and you get shot in the head by a Gretchin, it's not even gonna dent the armor. Literally, the shot's gonna ricochet the fuck off of you, and you're just gonna go, huh, that motherfucker just shot me in the head. And you're gonna easily just curb stomp his whole fucking body out of existence. But still, it does stand that if there's a shit ton of Gretchin and they all have pistols, well, it doesn't matter how good your fucking ammunition is, because when they're all just two-shooter blasting your ass, those pistol packing mamas are gonna whoop your asshole apart, especially Imperial Guardsmen, because your helmets do not matter for shit when these Gretchin mob squads are just blasting your ass with their pistols. Now, there are some Gretchin out there who actually make rebellions known as Gorka Morka. Gorka Morka is the most famous one. I won't get into him in this video, that'll be a separate video. But this is the only time in Warhammer 40K a Gretchin have actually made their own societies. Now, they have tried to rebel before against their evil orc masters, but they always fail. Because one, they don't get organized. Two, they aren't nearly as strong. And three, a lot of Gretchin are actually happy in their roles as the orc really bitches. That's all they are, just orc bitches. Because someone said this too on in one of the conventions I went to, but really when you look at it, They're more like Noblars from Warhammer Fantasy. They really symbolize Noblars more than they do goblins, because Noblars are happy being eaten and killed by ogres all day. After all, those are their masters. Same situation, they're still goblins, but they serve the ogres. Whereas the Gretchin, they serve the orcs, but they're fine being pets, being bitches, being the assistant of the mech boy. They really don't have any desire to lead orcs into battle. Now, of course, my favorite part about this that you can really get out of this is that a Gretchin lifespan is ridiculously short, because mind you, orcs don't really give a fuck about Gretchin life. Whether it's to kill you just because they like the sound your head makes when it explodes, or because they'll just stuff you into the barrel of a gun and fire your ass against the enemy ship, even though they know it's not going to do any damage, they just love to do it. My favorite, this is my personal favorite, so they won't stuff you into a gun to shoot you. No. You are the ammunition that's going to just guide itself into the enemy. Even though you don't provide it any fucking extra firepower or DACA. The only reason why they do is just to make it entertaining when you hear a goblin just... Besides that, this has been Frieza 700. I'm out. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought, what you guys think I should talk about next. And also, as always, see you guys next time. This has been Frieza 700. I'm out. Peace.